Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling a question that keeps a lot of students and parents up at night. You see the bill, $11,000, $20,000, $40,000 a year in tuition, plus housing, meal plans, fees, and you're like, in this video, we're going to break down in simple terms. By the end, you'll have a much clearer picture of, let's start with the big picture. First, some context. In the US today, the average published tuition and fees for 1 year of college look roughly like this. At a public 4-year college, in-state students pay around $11,000 per year in tuition and fees. At private nonprofit 4-year colleges, the sticker price is often over $40,000 a year just for tuition and fees. And when you add housing and food, books, transportation, and other expenses, the total annual cost can easily jump to around $28,000 for in-state public students and $50,000, $60,000 plus a year at many private colleges. So yeah, it's a lot of money. But here's the real question. When you write that giant check, what is the college actually doing with it? Let's break it down into the main buckets where your tuition typically goes.
The first and most obvious bucket is instruction, paying for the actual education part.
Professor salaries,
teaching assistants,
classroom support, lab equipment used for teaching, online platforms for coursework. Faculty and staff salaries are one of the single biggest costs for universities. Think about it. Full-time professors, adjunct instructors, lab coordinators, graders, and the people who design the curriculum. All of them need to be paid, and many have advanced degrees and years of training. Instructional spending per student can vary a lot. Some colleges spend well over $20,000 per student on instruction alone, while more tuition-dependent or lower-resourced schools spend much less. So, a chunk of your tuition is definitely paying for the people in front of the classroom, the support staff behind them, and the equipment and tech they use to teach you. But that's just the start. The second big bucket is student services, stuff that isn't classroom teaching but is still part of the college experience, like academic advising and tutoring, mental health and counseling services, career services and internship support, disability services, orientation programs, student organizations and activities. Colleges also spend on the campus experience, gyms, recreational sports, clubs and events, sometimes those fancy rock climbing walls, pools, or esports arenas. All of this costs money. Facilities need staff, equipment needs maintenance, programs need funding. Sometimes, prospective students and parents actually expect this. So colleges compete by offering more and better student services and amenities. And some portion of your tuition goes toward exactly that. Next, let's talk about the physical campus. Your tuition helps pay for building new classrooms and labs, renovating old dorms, keeping the Wi-Fi and electricity running, heating and cooling huge buildings, landscaping and groundskeeping, campus security. Think of a campus as a small city. It has roads, sidewalks, lights, internet, security, dining halls, waste management. All of that has to be paid for. Universities spend a lot on capital projects, like new science buildings or residence halls, facility maintenance, fixing roofs, updating HVAC, repairing labs. Even if your tuition isn't directly tagged for the new stadium, in reality, overall tuition revenue often supports the general operating budget, which includes debt payments and upkeep for those big projects. So yeah, some of your tuition literally keeps the lights on. If you're at a research university, a significant part of the institution's mission is research, not just teaching. Research funding often comes from federal grants, private foundations, industry partnerships, but tuition and fees can still help with research infrastructure, labs, equipment, support staff, some faculty time, and overhead costs that grants don't fully cover. Also remember, universities run graduate programs, master's and PhD programs. Grad students might receive stipends, tuition waivers, and health insurance. Those costs don't magically appear out of nowhere, so even if you are an undergrad, some of what you pay helps support the research mission of the university and the ecosystem that includes grad students, labs, and big research projects. At a smaller teaching-focused college, this slice may be smaller. At a major research institution, it can be pretty significant. Now we get to the controversial part: administration. Over the years, many colleges have seen administrative staff grow: deans and associate deans, compliance officers, diversity and inclusion offices, marketing and communications staff, admissions and financial aid teams, IT departments, HR, legal and finance offices. Running a modern university means dealing with complex regulations, handling federal financial aid rules, managing massive data systems, keeping the campus safe and compliant. Critics argue that administrative bloat is one reason college has become more expensive, and it's true that administration is a major spending category at many institutions. Some of this is necessary, some of it may be questionable, but either way, part of your tuition is paying for the bureaucracy required to keep the institution running in a highly regulated, highly competitive environment. Here's something many people don't realize: your tuition dollars don't just pay for your education, they might also be helping pay for someone else's. How? Through institutional financial aid. A lot of colleges, especially private ones, use a high sticker price model. The official tuition might be $40,000 or $45,000 a year, but many students get grants and scholarships from the college itself. That means some students pay full price or close to it, others get large discounts, and the college uses the revenue from some students to help subsidize others. Data show that for many schools, the average net price, what students actually pay after grants, is much lower than the published sticker price. So when you ask, where does all that tuition go? The answer is, some of it goes to you in the form of services and instruction, some of it goes to running the institution, and some of it goes to financial aid for other students. In a sense, students are often cross-subsidizing each other. Now let's zoom out. Why have college costs risen so much over the past few decades? There are a bunch of reasons, but here are a few big ones. State funding cuts. At public universities, when state governments reduce funding, schools often make up the difference by raising tuition. Some studies find that when state appropriations go down, in-state tuition goes up. Growing expectations for campus life. Students and parents often expect modern dorms, strong mental health services, updated gyms, high-tech classrooms. All of that costs money, rising compensation and benefits, healthcare, retirement benefits, and competitive salaries for faculty and staff all add up over time. Administrative complexity, dealing with regulations, accreditation, compliance, and technology requires more staff and systems. The arms race for prestige. Colleges compete on rankings, research output, facilities, star faculty, which can push spending, and eventually tuition higher. So, rising tuition isn't just about greed or mismanagement, though those can be factors in some cases. It's also about policy choices, public funding trends, and what society expects universities to be. With all this in mind, you might ask, if college is this expensive, is it still worth it? Despite growing skepticism, recent data still show that, on average, people with a bachelor's degree earn significantly more over their lifetime than those with only a high school diploma. Of course, that doesn't mean every degree at every price is a good deal, or that debt is always manageable. But it does mean the question shouldn't just be, why is it so expensive? It should also be, what am I getting for this price? And is it worth it for me? Understanding where tuition goes helps you ask smarter questions like, how much does this college actually spend on instruction per student? How big is the administration compared to academics? How generous is financial aid, and what's the average net price, not just the sticker price? So, to sum it up, your tuition dollars are paying for instruction, professors, teaching, academic support, student services, advising, counseling, career support, campus life, buildings and operations, dorms, classrooms, utilities, maintenance, research and grad programs, especially at research universities, administration and compliance, the bureaucracy that keeps it all running, and financial aid, helping other students afford college. The system is complicated, and yes, it's expensive. But the more you understand it, the better decisions you can make. If this video helped you see college costs a little more clearly, hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's staring at a tuition bill right now. In the comments, let me know, what surprised you the most about where tuition money goes? And what do you want to see broken down next? Student loans, scholarships, or community college versus university? Thanks for watching and next video on board. Natstek sarndu amadibdur boris. Sestak di berdidio. Wonder yor r abru. Wadechta datner abur on next on ein widinun cats.